My name is Dennis Morris. I'm the CEO at Safe Boats International. We're located in beautiful Bremerton, Washington. Safe Boats has been a proud member of the Bremerton area community for over 20 years. The vast majority of the over 375 plus team members we have grew up in the Kitsap area, and many of them have deep roots here in the community. 20%, actually over 20% of our team members are actually veterans who've actually served in all branches of the U.S. military. And interesting enough, a number of them have actually served their country on Safe Boats. We embarked on a project recently to share with our team members some of the inspiring stories that those team members who actually served on Safe Boats had by sharing their personal experiences, and they're very unique stories. And we decided, because we got such good feedback from our team members who saw them, that we wanted to take that opportunity to share those with our community leaders and with some of our customers. The work that we do for our customers is very meaningful. These guys are out there serving their country, and these boats in a way allowed them to accomplish their mission. It in some ways saved their lives and other lives, and it's proud for us to be able to be part of that in some small way.
My name is Jim Bankson, and I am on the boat operations team. We're driving a 25-foot RBS, Rescue Boat Small, RBS. This was the original boat that was awarded to the Coast Guard, and it's kind of how Safe Boats got their start. Built about 700 of these for the U.S. Coast Guard. Had a rescue call come into the Chetco River Coast Guard Station back in 2003. And we had one gentleman on board a 30-foot sailing boat about 15 miles off the coast of Oregon, southern Oregon, and he was going into diabetic shock. Winds were blowing about 30 to 35 knots with seas 15 feet. The rescue helicopter was going to drop a rescue swimmer down under the sailboat. They were unable to do that. Danger of getting the rescue swimmer tangled up in the swaying mast. So I launched a second lifeboat out of my Sardet station out of Rogue River, ended up with 2 of our 47-footers on scene, and the helicopter, and they were unable to get anybody on board to help this gentleman due to the sea conditions, and everybody on scene out there thought it was too dangerous to try to transfer personnel. We had the 23-foot utility boat at my unit. I was monitoring all things that were going on scene at my radio comms room, and we came up with the idea. I figured I could take the 23-foot utility boat out with a loaner EMT from the local hospital go with me. And due to the Safe Boat's smaller size and incredible maneuverability, plus its seaworthiness, it was able to take those kind of seas and wind. I was able to maneuver my boat alongside, the Safe Boat alongside the sailboat, just for a brief instant to drop off the EMT and one of my crewmen who were able to get on board that sailboat and administer first aid to the gentleman in distress. And they were also able to help out the bigger motor lifeboats on scene, attach a tow line to the sailboat, where they in turn were able to tow him back in to Brookings, Oregon, where we were able to get him safely moored up to the dock, ambulance awaiting, and the gentleman got himself off to the hospital and made a full recovery. So the Safe Boat was definitely the factor that night. It was the actual saving factor due to its maneuverability, its smaller size, its durability and toughness to be able to handle those kind of seas. Well, I continue to work with Safe Boats because it keeps me involved in boating operations, which I love. It keeps me involved with the Coast Guard and the military, because we build a lot of boats for military, Coast Guard, the Marines, Navy, Air Force, and there's really nothing I would prefer to do than help out the young men and women of the United States who protect our country. And Safe Boats does it very well.
My name is Willie Coco. I'm with the Customer Service Group Training Department. My history with Safe Boats is I was on the small unit riverine craft for the Marine Corps, aka the CERC, in Iraq in 2005 and 2006. I was stationed at Haditha Dam in Al Anbar province, Iraq. This boat is designed for an insert and extract platform, so we can carry up to 12 to 18 troops on board up in the front, and it has a articulating bow door. We can land the nose on it and everybody can go off into the fight. This particular incident, we were moving south along the riverbank to Haditha proper, so we were moving to South Dam Village, which was the next village south. So the troops are all in line, moving down the shoreline, checking for caches and whatnots, and enemy troops are. So they're moving down. I was dash one of the lead boat. I was out front running rabbit. The troops had moved into an open field. It was roughly probably like 200 yards long. Just big wide open expanse of nothingness, and then on the other end of it was a palm grove which had a large or mud brick wall. So as we got past that, we obviously saw it was going to be an issue, so we started creeping up there, and so we looked over and a gunner spotted something. He kept seeing something pop up and duck back down, and it turned out it was two Iraqi males. They were just popping up, looking over, popping back down, while these troops are moving out in the open. You know, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. You get that sixth sense feeling that something's about to happen and it's about to go bad. And then we see him stand up and he has a cell phone in his hand and he's talking on a cell phone. So common practice for them was to engage us with indirect fire or direct weapons or IEDs. And so it looked like an attack was imminent. And there's some miscommunications between my boat and the second boat, which is talking to the ground troops. I didn't have direct communication to the ground troops at the time. So I'm yelling back on the radio. The third boat's hearing me. The second boat's not, because he's talking to ground troops and someone else. So I decide I'm gonna land the boat directly at them. So the guys in the back on dash 2 and dash 3 would see that something's wrong or something's going wrong, because instead of me just cruising down river, and I'm now going into the shoreline aggressively. So as I start getting closer and closer to the shoreline, the two individuals that were sitting there looking and talking on the cell phone, they drop their guns and start running away. And then I land the boat. Me and another gunner and a ground guy that was on the boat get off. So we grabbed our personal weapons and then ran up. There's just three of us, 3 on 2. Go up to the shore, go up to where they were, and we find the 2 AKs and a cell phone that's still active with somebody on the other end talking. At this time, stuff starts happening. The ground troops are in the field, see something that's going wrong, and they see us start moving in, so they start moving forward towards us, and then we meet there at the wall where the phone call is. The 2 guys that ran away were captured a short time later, and pretty much they were forward observers for a mortar position that was located in the town, and they were in the process of calling in a mortar strike on those people that were in the middle of the field. So probably saved 25, 30 lives. Well, the men and women of Safe Boats take pride in everything that they do, and they build an awesome boat for those of us that go downrange to do what we have to do. And they made an awesome boat that brought me and probably hundreds of others home.
My name is Cole Merritt. I'm the training manager for Safe Boats International. I'm extremely passionate about Safe Boats. This was my introduction to Safe Boats, the CIRC, the small unit riverine craft, and just the construction of the boat, the reliability of the boat, the capabilities of the boat just made me extremely passionate about their products. If we would have worked with anything less sound, there would have been a lot more casualties. The predecessor to the small unit riverine craft, which was the riverine assault craft, was just bare aluminum. I think if we would have done the operations that we did in Iraq with the riverine assault craft, we would have had numerous deaths. There would have been, the attrition rate would have been very high. So I was attached to the dam support unit in 2005, 2006 OIF. There was a Marine Corps unit in Habbaniyah that used us for a specific operation. Where we actually had to travel to Habbaniyah by river, pick up the recon team that we were going to be inserting, and then establish a waterborne guard post where we would put the boats in a hiding place through the day, and then pick them up that night. We set up a defensive position forward of the boats with machine guns and established a rotation for the crews. Throughout the day, we were taking sporadic gunfire from the banks.
It sounded like those rounds, some of them are coming kind of close.
And I was actually standing on the engine panel where you're standing now, and firing my 203, which is a grenade launcher, individual grenade launcher, single shot into a pump house that was standing about 500 meters further up the river, while the boat crew was actually firing the 50 caliber machine gun and the 240 at the target. At the same time, we were loading the crews that were in the fighting positions forward of the boats back on the boats. We took a total of 5 casualties. My aft gunner actually got shot in the knee during one of the engagements. The only place that didn't have protection is just like this. There was no protection here, and that's the tow post. The 50 cal would be mounted here, and if Lance Corporal Pridgeon was standing here just like this shooting, the round came through and hit him right in the knee.
All right, let's go. Tear it down.
We wanted to carry on with the mission. We were actually establishing a blocking position for the units that were there, but based on the casualty rate and how many people we had left on the boats, we didn't have much of a choice. We didn't have any more personnel to supplement. So we got back and recovered the boats, and basically stood by for the call to extract the personnel that we had inserted that day, which we did later on. And just the boat itself, the survivability of the boat, the reliability of the boat saved lives, just in the nature of the operational characteristics. 9 inches of water, 40 knots on plane, is just phenomenal. The maneuverability of the boat, and Safe Boats goes above and beyond. I think Safe Boats takes that and exemplifies it in their product, all the way from the guys that lay down the welds for the hull, to the guys that install the engines, to the guys that do the rigging, to the guys that do the wiring inside the console. I think everybody takes pride in their work. You build an amazing boat. Thank you.